IGN Live at E3 is presented by Edge Shave Gel. Get your edge.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN's live coverage from E3 2015. I'm Damon Hatfield.
And I'm Max Scoville.
We are about 30 minutes away from Bethesda's first ever E3 press conference.
Yeah.
Max, they must have something important to say.
I think they got that cool new game with the dog.
That
the
one.
kids are nuts for that one.
Dog out.
Yes.
We're going to talk about, there's so much to talk about. We're just about 30 minutes away from the big show to start. But first, we have to introduce our guests. We have a couple experts from IGN here.
Mr.
Tal
Challenge
Blevins, Dan Stapleton.
Hello.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining us up here.
Thanks for having us.
What are you guys excited about? There's a good energy in our war room here tonight.
Obviously, Dog Out.
Dog out, yeah.
Who would not be excited for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, really excited to see more about Fallout 4. Obviously, big teaser they dropped the week before E3. We weren't expecting to see quite as much as we did, but I mean, that leads me to believe we're going to see some really good gameplay this time. And from what I hear from the reports from the press conference right now, they have a humongous screen up there, like one of the biggest ones we've seen at E3.
Yeah, people are just starting to fill into the auditorium now. So the show kicks off in about 30 minutes. We expect it to run about an hour, but then stay around after that because we'll be breaking down all of the big news and announcements
breaking
of the show.
down crying is what we're going to be doing because
probably.
we're going to be excited.
With
Yeah.
joy. With joy.
Yes, with good tears, the nice ones.
For IGN's post-show coverage as
Yeah.
well. So, Fallout 4.
That's the
What
name.
what do we know so far?
What
we got
is
the
that?
trailer a couple weeks ago, I guess.
Yep. Well, last week.
Okay,
Yeah.
just last week.
Last week? I know. Time flies, right? I mean, E3's already been going on for, what, 3 weeks at this point?
Yeah,
I
pretty
know?
much. Yep.
So Fallout 4, you know, I hope we actually see, like I said, I hope we see some real gameplay, some actual control, see them actually walking around in the environment. I mean, we saw bits and clips of actual, you know, like they were in the engine, they were walking around. But it was like little 1 second little bits that we saw, you know, right in a row.
so we know a few things. We know it's Boston. It's set in Boston. We've seen some kind of landmarks. There's the Old South Meeting Hall or whatever.
Yeah,
there's the
there's the State
Constitution.
House. They showed
There's
Bunker Hill.
the dog.
Yeah, there's the dog, which
There's
is
the
what
Boston
everybody knows
dog.
from Boston.
Power armor. It's Vault 111 instead of 101 this time.
Which is the second to last vault built.
Okay,
Yeah.
well there you go. That's a deep cut right there. One thing we see a lot of is in this trailer here. It's flopping between post-war Fallout period and then kind of a more less radioactive time frame.
2077, which is the year the bombs fell. That is depicting the destruction of the world, basically. That day they show there is when it all went to hell. So the theory is that the baby we see in that trailer is the playable character who is cryogenically frozen.
But there's been actually a lot of theories, right? And people are saying it might be the father, it might be the mother. That can just describe how you could have either a male or female character. Of course, the baby, you don't know what the sex of the baby is either.
Right.
So, but yeah, considering that it was the second to last vault built, and Vault 112 was actually in Fallout 3, and that's the one they had the memory machine.
Oh, that's right.
They had the
yeah.
VR memory machine, and they had cryogenic tubes in that one too. So, I mean, you're getting close to that tech when you get to 111, obviously. You definitely see some tie-in there, and that trailer ties right into the game.
You guys clearly know your Fallout lore. I heard somebody saying that there is word in the kind of the Fallout lore of areas near the Institute, which is MIT obviously, that weren't affected by the war. Have you heard anything about that, or is that?
Well, it's not so much that it wasn't necessarily affected, but it was less hard hit.
Okay.
And that area is known as the Commonwealth, which is
Massachusetts.
Contains the Institute is a group within the Commonwealth, and it's theorized that will be one of the central parties in the game or factions.
Obviously, probably around MIT.
Yeah,
Yes.
which makes sense. And of course, there's the whole thing about androids there.
Right.
But that's another story entirely.
Yeah,
so.
it could be that AI slavery could be a major theme of Fallout 4.
Okay.
And of our future.
So what do we want to? What do we want to see? Like, what do we want from this game?
So many things.
Yes.
So many things. Like I think technically, the biggest thing I want is fewer loading screens. I want to be able to go through a door without a 30-second wait. Like that's a huge thing for me. I want to see a new take on VATS that gives me real reasons to target things other than the face or the head and the eyes, that kind of thing. Because it does get kind of repetitive later on when you just one-shot everything. What do you want to see?
For me, one of the big things in the trailer, they kind of show some lightning, maybe a little puddle, maybe a few drops, weather effects coming to Fallout. And that would be awesome. Can you imagine being out, in the wasteland, then all of a sudden, who knows, maybe you have to find cover from acid rain, maybe you have to get in really quick. So, something like that, something that makes it a little more dynamic than just day and night.
Yeah,
cycles.
I was actually really surprised seeing this trailer. I almost thought that because of how much they put into the weather systems in Skyrim, that we'd see maybe some snow, like a nuclear winter kind of thing going on. Not entirely far-fetched.
Entirely possible. Another thing I'd love to see is better AI. Like now that they're no longer shackled to the processors that ran the PS3 and Xbox 360, like there's a lot more CPU power behind that. They can do potentially many more interesting things with AI behavior. I'd really love to see more interesting combat behavior. I want to see smarter civilians that react better to me, say picking up a tin can off of their desk and like them freaking out and trying to have the whole town kill me.
Hey, tin cans are pretty valuable.
I mean, bottle caps are the currency, so you figure tin cans.
Yeah,
that's like $100 bill.
Exactly. Yeah.
Another thing too from the trailer that we saw is, like you were saying, the world looks a little bit less destroyed. They're rebuilding the city. It looks like they had shipping crates all stacked up, kind of like Ready Player One, if you've ever read that. But it looked a lot more colorful than we've seen in previous Fallout games, right?
Too.
It's not just brown and 50 Shades of Gray. It is actually a really colorful game world. So looking forward to being in that world too.
Yeah, it does seem like that Bethesda has listened to a lot of the criticism they got for like, oh, this world is all brown and gray. And they seem to be splashing color everywhere they possibly can in that trailer.
Now, this kind of ties into the loading screen stuff, but also kind of just general traversal. Like, what about a car? Or we see numerous kind of flying vehicles in the trailer.
Right.
Now, I'm reasonably sure that they're not going to do that. Having spoken to Todd Howard about it, who's the creative director of all of Fallout and Skyrim and everything, the Elder Scrolls at Bethesda. They philosophically they seem strongly opposed to doing that in any Fallout game they were doing at the time. That could have changed, but the way they lay out their maps would have to totally change. You'd have big stretches of empty space that you just have to zoom past. And they have done a really good job in their previous games of just making their maps really dense with things to do and things to find. And if you have those big empty spaces, it kind of dilutes that.
What we did see, though, is it seems like the game world and the objects within that world are a lot more modifiable than they were in Fallout 3. Now, you can make your own weapons, you can do some mods to your guns and different things, but it looks like you might be able to build your own armor. Maybe you're able to build your own enhancements, with the Android thing going in. Who knows? Maybe you have, more enhancements that you can actually modify your own body with.
Well, Max, hopefully Mad Max will sate your desire to drive around in the apocalypse.
I just want a car. I guess I get a dog. That's pretty cool.
The dog? So, yeah, what do you guys want from the dog?
Right, I do hope the dog, it seems like in the trailer they focus a lot on the dog. I hope the dog plays a much bigger role than they did in Fallout 3 when you had dog meat, which was an homage back to the original Fallout and also an homage back to the movie A Boy and His Dog. But yeah, I hope maybe you can even control the dog. Maybe you'll be able to get into certain areas that only the dog can get into. Maybe you'll actually be able to switch characters or companions or something.
What if, like in A Boy and His Dog, you can communicate with the dog? Like, what if the dog is a personality?
Right? Like you have, telepathy with your dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of hope that the dog is not like permanently tied to my character.
Why do you hate dogs?
I like dogs very much. What I didn't like so much about companions in previous Fallout games is that unless they're very smart or impossible to kill, that can create situations where they will go off and get themselves killed. Dog Meat did this a lot. Runs in, gets himself killed. I have to reload. because he's just not smart enough to not attack a super mutant that can kill him in one shot. So unless you get like a much smarter behavior out of him, or you just can't kill him, which kind of runs counter to the Fallout philosophy where everything should be able to die, or anything possible, anything that bleeds you should be able to kill. I kind of hope that I still have the option to say, stay home, boy.
Yeah, I just had the problem with Fox standing in doorways.
Right.
Yeah. What about the ideas we're hearing that you may be playing a voiced protagonist, so you won't be role-playing as yourself this time?
Right. I mean, that's a big leap for Fallout because it's always been kind of the voice has been in your head, right? You've been able to kind of have this character that you kind of made up your own stories around. And this could actually be, it sounds like, with the leaks, they have full male and female voicing for the character, so that would be a first for Fallout as well.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to it. I mean, especially like Mass Effect showed that can be done in a way that works. Like there's not a whole lot of difference between how previous Fallout games have functioned in dialogue and how Mass Effect works. So as long as they have male and female options, maybe if they even have multiple options for each gender, like say Saints Row does.
Will he have a really thick Boston accent? That's what I want.
I like that idea. What if your stats are tied to your voice? That could be interesting because the thing is, I can't let's say we've got I don't know Troy Baker as the male voice and
What are Troy Baker?
Yeah,
It sounded like Troy Baker to me. I'm just saying that trailer,
shot in the dark
like
there.
Troy Baker.
Yeah, Troy Baker voicing a video game character. Who'd have thunk it?
You know what? I'm going to say it's either that or maybe Nolan North.
Yeah,
Covers the gamut.
He'll play an older bad guy, I'm sure.
The thing is I mean, Fallout is very much a role-playing game in the sense that because you are the silent protagonist, you start to kind of get a sense of what type of a person you are,
Right.
and you sort of have your own
Just
voice.
a horrible person.
I mean, I'm eating apples out of a
is.
toilet, and I'm like killing entire towns, and just I'm not really a great person. So to have this kind of like charming personality to go with that, I mean, previous Fallout games, you can actually be so stupid that you cannot speak.
Yep.
So maybe some grunts would be a good character.
I would
Maybe
love-
great text options.
I would love to hear like Nolan North doing just duh. Ugh.
I actually never played the original Fallout or Fallout 2.
Oh, you should.
For that matter. I assume you guys have.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, some
So,
versions, yeah.
what threads from those early games are we still seeing, like even in the trailer for Fallout 4?
Well,
What has been carried over?
The dog.
Yeah.
The dog for one. Brotherhood, all the lore is still there from the originals. I hope, now we didn't see a whole lot of it in the trailer necessarily, but Fallout has always been a little tongue-in-cheek, a little bit about the personality, a little bit of humor in it. That's always been in the Fallout games. So, I can't imagine they would change that either. And that was one of the things that was so endearing to me about the Fallout games is that it didn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
Because that's a depressing world otherwise.
Totally.
You've got to have a little humor.
I would say, if anything, the color in Fallout 4 seems to indicate that they're kind of doubling down on that
Yeah.
and doing less of the kind of gritty stuff we saw in 3.
Yeah, you see pretty much all of the really iconic stuff we see in that trailer is can be directly tied back to the original Fallout. Going like Deathclaws, dogs, super mutants, Brotherhood of Steel, all of that is consistent. And Bolts, of course.
All right, obviously we're very excited to see what Fallout 4 is all about. We want to hear what you have to say as well, so tweet your questions at IGN with the hashtag IGNLive, and we will be answering them shortly, coming up very soon. We're going to be taking a quick break, but stay tuned. We have lots more to talk about. Doom, hopefully Dishonored 2, Elder
that is.
Scrolls.
Of the year for gamers. E3 is when the entire gaming industry gets together to show off their latest and greatest. Everything from surprise game announcements, well-groomed people in suits, and a ton of trailers. IGN.com/E3 will be the place to keep your eye on. We'll be streaming the big conferences along with our own pre- and post-conference shows that'll give you a deeper insight into all the rumors and announcements. When the E3 show floor actually opens, we'll then be streaming live demos straight from our booth. The fun starts on Sunday, June 14th with Bethesda's brand new conference. We'll start our live programming at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Monday, June 15th is the heavy conference day. We'll start at 9 a.m. Pacific and cover 4 conferences. Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, and Sony. This will go all day long and probably kill 1 or 2 IGN employees, but it will be awesome. Programming on Tuesday, June 16th begins bright and early at 8:30 a.m. Pacific. The focus will be on 2 companies, Nintendo and Square Enix. Speaking of Tuesday, that's also when the general show starts. Like every year, we'll be streaming live demos from the show floor presented by the game developers themselves. Keep checking the schedule on IGN.com/E3 to see the lineup. Finally, if you're not chained to a computer all day, you can also catch our content on our set of IGN apps available on iOS, Android, PS4, and Xbox One, YouTube, Roku, and our Twitch channel. And of course, we're on Twitter and Facebook if you want super quick, bite-sized updates. E3 can be overwhelming, but we're all super excited to share cool stuff with you. It's time for epicness, so we hope you can join us.
Welcome back to IGN's pre-show coverage of Bethesda's first ever E3 press conference. I'm Damon Hatfield, joined by Max Scoville. Max, who are our guests up here?
That's Tal Blevins, and that
Tal
one over
Blevins.
there is Dan Stapleton.
Yeah.
Nailed it, Max.
We're just about 14 minutes away now from the show starting. We just talked a lot about Fallout 4, but there are other games.
Oh, yeah.
We need to cover off on. That's not the only game that Bethesda has.
Yeah, they have one that just came out last week. You might have heard about it. It's called The Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited. This is, of course, the PS4 and Xbox One version of the Elder Scrolls MMO, which has been out on computers for a while now.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit less exciting than Fallout 4 or the new Doom or stuff like that. But they're probably going to mention it. What do you guys think about that?
It was a known quantity, yes, but at the same time, like our reviewer really liked the console version. He actually likes it a little bit better because a game like that, you like to sit back on your couch, and if you're going to play for a long time, he enjoys that. Like, he wants to play more on the console than the PC now. And so it's actually been a big hit with our audience as well. Like, we've seen a lot of interest in it.
You think they'll announce any new content, Dan?
And they've got to,
PC
right?
version?
I mean, like any content that comes out on one is going to come out on the other. Probably on the PC a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
because they tend to leave that way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they definitely have everyone's eyes because of other big stuff they're announcing. So it would be, a prudent time to announce like a console bundle if they're going to do something like that, or even just some kind of a promotion, maybe DLC.
I mean, yeah, it seems like it's been doing pretty well on the console. We've seen on our Game Help section, we've seen actually a big rise in the game over the past week. So it seems like a lot of people are playing it.
And it's been out for over a year on PC, so it's high time for a substantial expansion.
Great.
Probably too soon though for the next. Any news about the next big Elder Scrolls game, the next Skyrim?
Not a chance.
No way.
That's the same team that does Fallout.
Yeah.
So they're on an alternating schedule, and it takes them years.
When we get to E3 2019, Damon,
That's when it's going to happen.
talk about Elder Scrolls.
I mean, even if they weren't logistically kind of not able to do this, it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense because they've got, hey, it's new Fallout, and hey, Elder Scrolls Online. So to be like another Elder Scrolls game would just be kind of stretching everybody too thin.
A little too much, yeah.
Yeah.
But Doom, we do know they are going to be sort of revealing Doom to the wider public today.
They did show it off to the QuakeCon crowd last year.
It's been a while since we've seen anything about it, except for that.
Yeah, unless you were actually present at QuakeCon,
right.
you have not seen any of Doom except for that little tiny like 4-second clip.
Yeah.
That showed one of the monsters and a shotgun.
Not this clip. This is Doom 3, which came out like 11 years ago.
Oh man, how
something
long
like that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, 11 or 12.
So
maybe
what does Doom look like in 2015? I mean, we've got kind of a little bit of an idea. It seems like it's more arcadey, more of kind of a return to the original form, but. I mean,
it is supposed to be. I mean, part of the criticism of Doom 3 was that it was too slow in plotting, and just creep down a hall and have a monster jump at you. Whereas the originals we're so well known. Doom 1 and 2 were so well known for being, adrenaline, fast-paced.
Too fast, almost like you were on roller skates. You're going. You hit some big rooms, you hit some corridors, but yeah, the 3 was a lot more corridor-driven than what we're used to seeing with Doom.
And the new Doom is supposed to be, back toward that over-the-top action, fast-paced, run-in, shoot everything that moves kind of action. And it's from all accounts, from our guys that were at QuakeCon, it was really impressive. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
That's always been one thing Id's really been known for, right? Is this graphical acumen there. Is that everything looks really good that they do. So I'm looking forward to seeing, could this be the thing that really makes me go, wow, next-gen consoles actually do look next-gen now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they should take a page from Wolfenstein's book, what they did with the New Order, the one from
that was a great reboot.
Yeah.
I think that Wolfenstein definitely kind of did the whole grindhouse thing really well, and it definitely it looked at what was this? You beat up Super Hitler, and I think Doom can kind of take itself a little bit less seriously. And based on what we've heard at a QuakeCon, it's got return of a double-barreled shotgun and you chainsaw and just a gruesome melee. And I kind of hope that it does what NetherRealm did with Mortal Kombat, and just very much looks at what was the fundamental thing that made everyone fall in love with this, and it's really gross violence.
And I think that's part of why they're calling it just Doom instead of Doom 4.
Yeah,
is that they do want to kind of reboot and return to the roots of that.
I kind of wish they'd called it Doom with 4 O's.
Doom.
That's
now,
a bitter Zim kind of game.
What about BattleCry? This is a game they revealed last year at E3 and then went silent on.
Yeah, we honestly just don't know much about it yet.
Yeah.
Like you said, they haven't said anything about it really in the last year.
Well, we know it's free-to-play third-person shooter, right?
Yep.
And it's got this kind of steampunk vibe to it. It's looks like an emphasis on melee, but again, this is a CG trailer, so
yeah, they've got ranged weapons as well, but no conventional firearms. But they do have ranged weapons, and you see a couple of them in the CG trailer.
You have zip lines, and it is very much about motion and continual movement. And for me, I played it last year at E3. It wasn't super impressive then. I wonder what they've done since then. Certainly, a year of development is a good long time to tweak some things. But for me, it just didn't offer that much new and that much interesting, especially with everything else Bethesda has. I think this is probably the weakest link in their library.
Yeah, and I do think that this is the time where they have to kind of tell people why we really need to care about this game. Because up until now, honestly, they haven't.
Yep, I agree.
So you think they will give us an update on it tonight?
I
would hope so.
Yeah. Because we haven't heard about it in a long time, and I definitely think it'll be one of the focuses. Because, like Dan said, I completely agree. They have to tell us why we should care about this game.
Sure. Max, I want to hear from our friends on Twitter.
I do too. What do you guys think? What are you guys up to? You should tweet at IGN and use the hashtag E3 2015. Is that it?
Just E3. Hashtag is IGN Live.
Hashtag IGN Live. I messed that up.
No, it's fine.
I don't know. There's so many hashtags.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
anyway,
big
yeah,
night.
we'll come back to that a little bit. What else do we have that we could possibly be?
Dishonored 2.
Yes.
Or the next Dishonored.
Yes.
Maybe it's not called Dishonored 2.
Maybe.
But
yeah, that one is unconfirmed.
It did seem there was a Twitch leak where you could hear some of the stage direction. I certainly don't think it was on purpose. I think Bethesda even made a little fun of themselves on their Twitter feed with that.
Yeah.
Which, good for you, Bethesda. I mean, these things happen. But I do think we'll probably hear something about Dishonored 2. Dishonored, for me, was one of those games that kind of came out of nowhere. And again, talking about steampunk, it had a great atmosphere to it. That was one of the things that drew me to that game the most.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what those guys are doing, because the guys at Arcane are really good, and it'd be nice to see what their next step is going to be.
Absolutely. I mean, that game, especially you compare that to the Thief reboot that came out. It's like, what was this Thief reboot?
Yeah.
Dishonored is like the kind of successor to Thief that I wanted. And just the stealth powers they give you in that game are so good. I mean, my only issue with the original Dishonored is that when you get caught, it's too easy to just kill everybody. I kind of wanted to be punished more when I messed up, because otherwise I just kill everybody, and you get a bad ending that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
they've also made no secret about the fact that Dishonored is, Dunwall was kind of one city in a world that they've very much thought out. They didn't come out saying this is a new IP, a new franchise that we're taking off. But realistically, you don't launch a AAA game doing that. You kind of got to plan ahead, and I think that they have a solid model here.
The lineage at the developer too, Arcane, they definitely like to create these deep lores as well. So I agree. I think we're going to see something that expands upon that universe that they already have, and not just keep you in the same setting.
What are the odds?
I will be interested to see if it continues to star Corvo
Yeah,
That's what I was
if they
wondering.
take
Yeah,
a new
new character.
And what are the odds it's going to be called strictly Dishonored 2, or do you think because we're on a new console generation and people don't want to feel left out because they missed something from last time around, like maybe call it Dishonored Revelations, just placeholder word there, but some kind of a colon.
Rise of the Dishonored.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It might be, if they do go with Dishonored 2, it'd be nice if they went back and put out a remastered version. Just so you can maybe even bundle them together.
Maybe that would be a good announcement to make tonight.
Maybe that's all we'll get.
It's possible. It is possible.
Are there any powers that you wish you had in the first game?
I mean, the mind control stuff was really good. Like, I would love to see that expanded.
Yeah.
Just give me even more toys.
I love the rat powers.
Yep.
Just being able to call rats to devour them.
And you could possess a fish.
Yeah, it's really good.
Dan has always wanted to possess a fish.
Lifelong dream.
I'd be okay if I just had a dog, That's all I want in games is a dog.
That's dog out. All right, gentlemen, it's time for the Edge
Dog honored.
Ready Report. You guys ready for this? Big topic is what Bethesda properties would you like to see return tonight?
Wayne Gretzky hockey.
Wayne Gretzky, that's a Bethesda.
Stole my answer. Okay, fine, Rogue Warrior.
Rogue
But
Warrior.
I want the whole game just to be Mickey Rourke rapping.
Yep.
That's
Mickey
all I
Rourke
want.
coming back for Rogue Warrior 2.
There's never been a better time for a new Terminator game. Bring a Skynet 2.
That's true.
Kind of want to point this out. The Figueroa Hotel has those 3 large spots on it, which frequently are reserved for massive E3 billboards.
It's Terminator.
What if Bethesda has a Terminator Genesis game?
Yeah.
Like, that could be a kind of crazy turnaround.
That
I mean,
would
it
be.
seems like to go back to the old Genesis console seems like a. Oh
Yes.
no, wait. Never mind. Absolutely. I mean, that was their Terminator game from Bethesda was actually really good. I remember
When did
playing
that come out?
It was like in the late 90s, I think.
They had a
90,
bunch.
90,
They had a-
99, yeah, they did a string of them.
Interesting.
But yeah, they were actually really good for the time. So that's a solid call.
And they had a racing game, too, didn't they? I forget what that one was.
They've had all kinds of things.
And I still hold out for Prey 2, which we
Prey 2
saw
is the one that
a lot of. And
Absolutely.
that was
disappeared.
that was disappointing when that was canceled because that looked really promising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I really like the first.
Yeah, especially
It was a lot of
considering like Star Wars is coming back. Like, it would have been great to have like a similar sci-fi universe to run around in that style of thing. And it would have been nice. Maybe if Bethesda had known Star Wars was coming back, they wouldn't have canceled it.
Yeah, we don't have B-roll of
I'm sure
it,
it's in
but
development somewhere.
refresh everybody's memory. Prey 2 looked like this bounty hunter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mass Effect, Blade Runner,
open
open
world-ish.
world type movie.
They completely ditched the whole premise of Prey 1, and you basically played as a U.S. Marshal from that universe who
An air
got
marshal, yeah.
abducted by aliens and wound up in an alien world where you were a bounty hunter. So you were sort of like Blade Runner Boba Fett, kind of doing parkour.
All right, can we just have a game called Blade Runner Boba Fett?
Might be some copyright issues on that.
Maybe.
But
Friends, we are just minutes away from the Bethesda conference starting. We are going to try to answer a couple of your Twitter questions, but first, let's take a preview of our schedule for tomorrow. We are live streaming all day tomorrow, starting with the Microsoft conference at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Then we've got Electronic Arts, then Ubisoft. Then we're going to be giving you first gameplay of XCOM 2, something Dan is very excited about. And then we keep streaming into the evening with the Sony conference, which I think begins at 6 p.m.
it's a long day.
Pacific.
But there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff to be excited about.
Yeah, you can watch all those here and all of our pre and post show coverage of all that stuff too. That's all tomorrow, so we're just getting started here. Let's try to bring up some of the questions and answer them in the last few minutes we have remaining. Remember, you can tweet your questions at IGN, just like Daryl Malone did. Do you think vehicles will play any role in Fallout 4? We were talking about this earlier. They would be fun, maybe, but Dan doesn't think so.
It would be a totally different game, I think. And I don't think that's the kind of game Bethesda wants to make. I wouldn't be super surprised to see them introduce a horse, though.
Okay.
Horse.
Yeah, I mean they've made that work in Skyrim.
What about a Brahmin? You could ride around on a
two-headed horse would
yeah,
be great. Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Or maybe a horse with a head on the front and a head on the back.
can go both ways.
Don't know how I feel about
Brings
that.
up all kinds of questions.
It does, yeah.
Which way is forward?
Jacktime Gaming just points out, he says, we look great, by the way.
Aw,
But he also says he'd love to see a new Wolfenstein game. I don't know, we just got one last year, and then we got that standalone expansion.
Yeah.
Look, and that Wolfenstein did really well, and I'm sure they are probably working on one, but I don't think we'll see anything at E3 because they have such, a big lineup, it seems like, for Bethesda. But, I mean, we'll see.
It's
maybe an expansion pack. Maybe they'll announce something new.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only reason I would not want to see a new Wolfenstein this year is because I wouldn't want it to be turned into an annualized franchise. You know, I want them to take their time with the next one and do something that isn't just more of, you know, Wolfenstein: The New Order. You know, give me something new with a new creative idea.
Mike, let us know if we have other Twitter questions. I have one here from my account. Chris says, predictions for games available today after the conference. Is he meaning like, and it's available now?
Fallout 4 would be awesome. I don't think we're going to see that happen.
We actually didn't talk about the release for that game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that going to come out this year?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Skyrim was 11/11/11.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, barring any major issues, it seems like they're pretty far along to be able to pull off a trailer of that depth a week before E3.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see some great stuff tonight and a lot of it. So I do have a feeling it'll be this year, which will be great because that'll keep me gaming through probably the early part of next year.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, they said the release date of Skyrim was 11/11/11. That means probably 11/11 or the 12th. I forget which 11 it is.
15.
Yeah, but that means that the next day they were probably working on Fallout. So it's been
sure.
until then.
They don't even get like a weekend off?
That's not how people who make video games.
Yeah.
They probably had a party, but after that,
They
jumped right in.
It is 7 p.m. The conference will start momentarily, but we do have one more Twitter question here from Adam. What's your favorite Fallout memory?
Oh man, like I think it was probably talking the master into killing himself in the first Fallout.
Yeah.
Probably
Spoilers.
just eating a whole toilet full of Dandy Boy apples.
Yeah, mine is probably, I just love the story of New Vegas and the whole, the Roman overtones and that part when you get to the first area where they have the people tied up and crucified and you're like, oh my God, like what is going on here? And you're like, there's no way I'm gonna follow you guys. Like I'm gonna get you guys. Like that was just like so emotional to me.
So my first encounter with a Deathclaw in Fallout 3 was kind of like a Roadrunner cartoon because I saw one in the distance and I was like, I haven't seen one of these yet. I'm gonna try to kill it. And that didn't work. I think I shot like a mini nuke at it and missed in VATS and did that thing where it's like I sent off a nuke, and then it came by and killed me in one shot, and I was like, I'm going to go back and do that again.
I kind of tried to do the same thing in New Vegas. I tried to just run to Vegas from my starting town to see if I could get there, and no, it's just Deathclaw Central.
Cazadores too.
I don't want to talk about
Screw
that.
those guys.
What's the first town you come to in Fallout 3? Is it
Megaton.
Megaton, yeah. I love that story about how you have to decide whether or not to blow up the town.
Yep.
I blew up the town.
I guarantee you we're going to see something like that.
Yeah.
That kind of
demo.
That's how they
demoed it. Yeah.
That's how they demoed to Fallout 3.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see something similar. Yeah.
We got one more question here?
Yeah, let's bring it up. Who's our friend? B-Chells. Is there the possibility of multiplayer in Fallout, or is there going to be totally separate disc-like Elder Scrolls Online?
I hope not.
Yeah.
Don't need any multiplayer in Fallout. No thanks.
I don't think anyone wants that.
Well, I think a lot of people do, just because there's a lot of opportunity for co-op in that game. It's kind of like with Just Cause 2. Remember, like people that game is fun as a sandbox to play single player, but some people want it so badly they added it.
Yeah.
And there were efforts to make multiplayer Skyrim as well, but it just didn't really work as well reliably. I don't think that Bethesda will do it.
I just feel like it would not live up to what the single player was, so for me it would be a disappointment. Fallout 4 to me is all about living that story and being an individual in that world, and that's what I want out of that game.
There's a lot of talking to characters, and that's not particularly fun with playing with other people.
Someday maybe we'll see like a Fallout Online.
No,
which
absolutely.
could be really
that
cool.
I can see working.
So, some people have tried to make that.
Yeah.
Bethesda stopped them.
Yeah. I mean, I think that so much of it is about being kind of like lost in this wasteland, and maybe having some kind of like drop in, drop out Dark Souls kind of thing, where it's just like someone shows up and you're like, who's that? What are they doing here?
Yeah. I'll tell you though, if the Elder Scrolls Online is a big success on consoles, like it looks like it's being fairly successful. If that success carries forward, we'll probably see a Fallout Online from Bethesda a few years down the line.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Let's pull up another question while we wait for the conference to begin.
Show us the question.
Josh, will there be any romances between characters?
Yeah, between a boy and his dog.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, the romances have been popular in other RPGs. We haven't really seen them in Fallout games to this point, or Elder Scrolls games, except for I guess you can marry.
You can marry. Yeah.
So I mean, they could carry that forward, and it's possible.
What's the Fallout universe equivalent of like the Amulet of Mara from Skyrim? Like, what do you have as an engagement ring or some kind of a wedding item?
Man.
Welded bottle caps.
Yeah.
Man.
Welded bottle caps.
Yeah.
Man, I
it's
guess
a key ring.
Yeah, look, it's just like a nut.
It's a carabiner. It's like this is the strongest thing we have.
I guess in Fallout 2 you did get married at one point. I'm pretty sure there was a quest in Fallout 2.
Jumping back to BattleCry for just a moment, Jacob wonders if they'll announce a beta for BattleCry.
I hope so.
I would think so too. It's about that time, so that would make sense. I mean, obviously, huge multiplayer game. They want to test it under real world conditions, so it wouldn't be a surprise at all.
And hell, they announced a beta for Doom, like with Wolfenstein. So.
Oh yeah,
that's right. If you got that, you're in the beta. Right?
They can announce a beta, but they don't have to deliver on it for years.
Yeah, so they haven't announced the launch date of the beta, right?
Nope.
So maybe tonight.
Nope.
Maybe momentarily would be a good time to do that.
Is it starting yet? Do we get to
I know,
watch
yeah,
it?
we're still standing
I'll be
by
missing
for the
it.
cover stock. Oh no,
It's their first time. Cut them a little slack.
They're just nervous.
Well then, why don't we look ahead to tomorrow? What are you guys excited to see tomorrow? It is starting.
It's starting. It's
There we
starting.
go.
With us.
Everybody enjoy the show and stick around afterwards for the post-show coverage.
Goodbye.
I'm a gameplay programmer.
I'm the art director.
Principal game designer.
Concept artist.
Audio director and sound designer.
At id Software.
Arcane Studios.
For Bethesda Game Studios.
BattleCry Studios.
Machine Games.
Cinemax Online Studios. It's been here for about 2.5 years.
6 years.
3 months now.
9 years?
We all love video games.
I've played games since I was a kid.
It's actually hard to imagine getting paid for this sometimes.
Knowing that we're making something really cool, that's what gets me up every day.
We make the games that we want to play.
I like getting players thinking. I love the chance to create.
To try new ideas.
To bring new monsters to life.
To excite people. To build new worlds.
To make something awesome.
Something that people will love.
For the fun.
Sense of discovery.
The story, something that'll inspire people.
Make them laugh.
Hopefully get their adrenaline pumping a little bit.
Smile.
Their face is just like, oh my god.
Scream.
And they go like this.
Or cheer.
It's why we do what we do.
I'm super.
Go time.
If we're lucky, if we're doing it right, we have something special here.
Our hearts are kind of on the line.
It's been a long journey.
It's going to be pretty cool.
Now it's time.
To show you.
The whole world.
Everyone.
What we're making.
We're ready for our close-up.
I'm so ready. I'm crazy.
The question is,
Are you? Are you?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm definitely ready.
I can't wait.
Let's do this. Let's go.
It's finally time for the Bethesda E3 showcase. Hit it.
Hit it.
Glow PR marketing for Bethesda Software. Pete Hines.
On this very stage, some of the best names in entertainment have received. But we are going to have a celebration of our own, complete with blood and guts and a bunch of stuff blowing up. I think we're going to have a lot more fun than them. Thank you. Put the show on to show the whole world Bethesda over the next year. There's also a lot of folks joining us on YouTube and Twitch right now. So hello to all of you joining us. for joining us. Welcome also to my colleagues from Bethesda. As well as all of our colleagues here and watching online and then stayed up till the middle of the night in Europe. We have our friends down in Sydney who had a special party with the fans just to tune in and watch. So hello to all of them. Welcome to partners who are here, members, but not least, our fans. We truly have best fans. Loyal, they're smart, and they're passionate about games. They share.
The amazing and talented team at id here tonight. Just like for many of you, Doom is a special part of each of our individual gaming histories, both personally and professionally. That's why from the beginning of this project, we've been inspired by the way those original Doom games made us feel when we played them. Although their premise was simple, they made us feel smart and fast and powerful. And at times, like we were part of something much larger than just that lone Marine beating back the forces of hell with a shotgun. But the foundation, experience, past or present, is unquestionably combat that's centered around three things: badass demons, big effing guns. That's right. And moving really, really fast. So as you now find yourself on the outskirts of a massive UAC research facility on Mars, you've been activated to do one thing: kill demons. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Doom. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, Doom is certainly about more than just the single-player campaign experience. And now that you've seen the game's combat, let's talk about multiplayer. Doom multiplayer is fast-paced, arena-style combat in locations ranging from UAC facilities on Mars to the depths of hell. You'll be challenged in exciting modes like Domination, Freeze Tag, and Clan Arena to annihilate your enemies using your own personal blend of skill, fast vertical movement, awesome guns, and very unique power-ups. Here's a sneak peek at Doom multiplayer. Thank you again. We look forward to sharing a lot more on Doom multiplayer in the coming months. But as you've now seen, Doom's wide variety of guns, wild cast of demons, and fast movement provide the building blocks for hours of great entertainment in both single and multiplayer modes. But we weren't done. We wanted to provide more and allow our fans to do more. You see, traditionally, we've provided our tools to a community of players with the knowledge and ability to create additional content, and their work has inspired us. So with this Doom, we asked, what if every player, regardless of platform or past experience, had the ability to build and instantly share their own creations? Like this co-op experience, where the goal is to survive wave after wave of demons. Or this mode, where you kill demons to earn credits that you can spend on ammo or health or bigger guns. Or even this classic 4-player deathmatch experience. What if the possibilities were only limited by your imagination? Tonight, we are proud to announce a custom-designed, built-in gateway to an endless stream of Doom experiences created by you. At its core, SnapMap is about players never running out of fun and it's an easy-to-use, in-game tool with uncommon and capability. Without any past experience or special expertise, any player can easily snap together and customize intricate maps. You can quickly add predefined or completely custom gameplay. You can even create or edit game logic to make new modes. When you're ready, press a single button to play or share that content instantly with friends or others around the world. For more than 20 years, the Doom community has been one of the most active and creative in gaming. Now, with Doom SnapMap, we're putting that power of creation in the hands of every player, and we can do amazing things you come up with next. Now, before I campaign. Yes? All right, terrific. So let's drop in on a little place our demons like to call home. Welcome to hell.
AAA quality games. In fact, it was that commitment to quality and innovation that inspired us to found BattleCry Studios and their upcoming game, BattleCry.
Hi everyone, I'm Lucas Davis, Design Director at BattleCry Studios. BattleCry is an online action game with team-based combat and intense tactical warfare. Face off against opponents in the war zones and battle for the glory of your nation. Select players in Australia and New Zealand have already joined us in our alpha, and soon the rest of the world can join them in battle. Tonight we are pleased to announce that we are accepting worldwide sign-ups for BattleCry's global beta at battlecrythegame.com. And sign up now before June 18th and you'll receive priority beta access as well as a special in-game reward. We look forward to seeing you in the war zone this fall. Until then, here's a look at how BattleCry has evolved over the last year and a sneak peek at our brand new warrior faction, the Han Republic. BattleCry is playable at E3 this week, so come by and check it out.
Bonjour, nous sommes très honorés d'être ici ce soir. Je suis
Whoa. English, slowly, Raph.
All right,
slowly. English.
Sorry. All right, good point. I said hi, everyone. We are very honored to be here tonight. I'm Rafael Colantonio.
And I'm Harvey Smith. We're co-creative directors at Arcane Studios, the team that brought you Dishonored. Thank you.
Arcane was started in '99 with one mission: to create the special kind of games we're most passionate about. Games with highly crafted, detailed world where gameplay experience focuses on player choice and consequence. We have always wanted to create games that rely on simulation instead of scripted moments. We followed our passion to create our most ambitious game yet.
It's happened again. Someone's pulled the rug out from under you. An empire at your feet, and you've lost it all. Be honest, did you really deserve any of it? More important, what would you do to get it back? Careful, there's always a price to pay. What you decide will ripple across the years. Blood in the gutters and corruption on the wind. It'll be fun watching this unfold. What will you do with the power I've given you? How will you make your mark on this wretched world?
remember your face, but I know who you are. Emily Caldwin. Nothing is an accident. Everything is in motion. All of it has led you to this exact second in time.
Before you strike. If you kill me, you become the assassin we claimed you were. You become one of us!
But it's always good to see a familiar face.
In Dishonored 2, the Empire of the Isles is in jeopardy once more when an otherworldly usurper seizes the throne. You'll travel to Karnaca, a once dazzling coastal city on the southern edge of the world, and hunt down new adversaries as you alter the fate of the Empire. This time, you have the choice to play as Corvo Attano or Emily Caldwin, a new character. Both have their own unique sets of powers, their own weapons and gadgets. And of course, you can combine these things creatively to eliminate your targets as you see fit. You can play with weapons drawn, or you can play the entire game without killing anyone. We'll tell you more as soon as we can, but what we're here tonight to say is that Dishonored 2 is coming, and will be available for PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4. Thank you so much. All right.
And while you wait for the new game, we have more of the original Dishonored for you to enjoy. It is Dishonored Definitive Edition. It comes with all the original game plus all of the added content, and all of it has been graphically enhanced for Xbox One and PS4. So the Dishonored Definitive Edition will be available this fall. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Hi everyone and good evening. 5 days ago we launched The Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited for the PS4 and Xbox One consoles. For the first time in the franchise's award-winning history, console players all over the world are now able to experience an Elder Scrolls game with friends. We're pleased to see millions of people online enjoying the game, whether it's by themselves, with a group, or in massive battles. We're sorry we can't be with you in person tonight, but we need to be in the studio to support the recent launch. We're also working hard on adding even more content and new features to this already vast world. We're excited about what fans have to look forward to next, so here's a peek at what the team at ZeniMax Online Studios is bringing to Tamriel Unlimited this year.
what can I say? I love games, and every opportunity to play, I take advantage of. And with a tablet or a mobile device like this one, I can take games with me wherever I go, on the plane, at my in-laws' house, or even at an important E3 showcase at the Dolby Theater. People who know me know that I am a huge fan of strategy card games. I play them a lot. I have also worked on the Elder Scrolls series in some way or another for over a third of my life. So this next game is particularly exciting to me because it brings those two worlds together. Tonight, we are pleased to announce the Elder Scrolls Legends, a strategy card game that builds on the rich legacy of Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls Online and brings the world of the Elder Scrolls to a completely new genre. Here's a sneak peek.
Past, present, future. The Elder Scrolls hold all of Tamriel's history. That which has transpired, and that which is yet to be. They speak of heroes and their quests, of challenges yet to be faced, and prophecies yet to be fulfilled. But they do not tell us your role, for your destiny is your own to craft. Will you fade into memory? Or will you carve your name into myth and join those who have become legends?
The Elder Scrolls Legends will be free to play and available on PC and iPad later this year. We can't wait to share more details with you in the coming months. And whether you're a strategy card game fan like me or an Elder Scrolls fan also like me, or neither, we think Legends is something you'll definitely want to check out. And with that, I am sorry to say that we have come to the end of our showcase. We did Doom, right? We did BattleCry, and we did say something about that being here. My bad, I forgot. We do have one more presentation. It is from Bethesda Game Studios, and actually, we are all here because of this next game. Because about a year ago, I had the idea to do this showcase, and I went to this gentleman, and I said, hey, instead of having to do a demo every hour, all 3 days of E3, what if I figured out a way for you to do just one demo? And he, of course, instantly said, yes, please. Now, I don't think he knew that he was getting, what he was getting into, that we would all end up being here, streaming this live all over the world, but hey, promise is a promise. He said he would do it. So here we all are, ready and waiting for his one demo of this E3. His studio creates games that have come to define open world gaming, and they are currently the holders of 3 consecutive Video Game of the Years with Skyrim, Fallout 3, and Oblivion, each a consensus Game of the Year winner. Those games in the studio have been led by someone who should need no introduction, but I'm giving him one anyway. Please give a warm welcome to the game director of Bethesda Game Studios and my very good friend, Todd Howard.
This is great. Look at this. You all came. This is amazing. I need to let me take this in. Holy crap. You know, when I first started at Bethesda 21 years ago, yes, believe it or not, there was no E3. There was none of this. You remember that? We had CES in Vegas, and the video games weren't even in the main building. They were in, like, an ancillary tent with the porn. It's not, I'm not kidding. Blizzard's booth was closer, for the record. But now look at us. Look at all of you here. Look at video games. Everybody online watching this. This is how you spend a quiet Sunday evening, I guess. And you do this because games are important to all of us here. And I think we can all agree that tonight starts a week with E3 that is the world's best week of entertainment ever. Because entertainment is an essential part of our lives. And games can do things that nothing else in entertainment can. They can transport you to new worlds. They can give you the true wonder of discovery and often the pride of accomplishing something yourself in a game. It's a wonderful moment. And in the world of entertainment, there are very few things as good as Fallout. You know, we've worked on Fallout for over 10 years now, and we started designing this one actually right after Fallout 3 in 2009. We were busy with the Skyrim game, but for the last 4 years, we have been working very, very hard to create something really special. And we've done a lot, and tonight we are going to show you a lot. And it all starts with an obsession to detail. Our artists concept every button, every blinky light, not just on one terminal, on all of them. Because it's our belief that it's all of these small details coming together that form a much, much larger whole. And that last image is really important because one of the great things about Fallout is the world that existed before the bombs fell. And that is where our game starts. On a beautiful Saturday morning with the threat of nuclear war looming.
You're gonna knock him dead at the Veterans Hall tonight, hon.
You think?
Absolutely. Now get ready and stop hogging the mirror.
Right.
And this is where you create your character, by simply selecting part of the face and sculpting.
Such a cute nose.
What do you think, hon? Beard or no beard?
We're going to speed up time here and show you just how easy and powerful this is to create all new characters by just sculpting and making changes wherever you want in the face. No series of sliders.
Hey, my turn, big guy.
And of course, you can play as a female. Whoever you leave the menu as is who you'll play. And this is an entirely dynamic system. It's the same system we use to create all of the game's NPCs. We even generate a baby based on the couple you make.
Ah, good morning, sir. Your coffee. 173.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Brewed to perfection.
Thanks, Kazuya.
Of course, sir.
Nuka-Cola, ice cold. Sugar bombs, 100% daily value of sugar.
Good morning! Vault-Tec calling.
Vault-Tec? Remind me again?
Why, we're about you, sir, and helping secure your future. You see, Vault-Tec is the foremost builder of state-of-the-art underground fallout shelters. Vaults, if you will.
But there's room for my entire family, right?
Of course, of course. Minus your robot, naturally. In fact, you're already cleared for entrance. It's just a matter of verifying some information. Wonderful. That's everything. Just gonna walk this over to the vault. Congratulations on being prepared for the future.
Thanks again.
Hey, it's peace of mind. That's worth a little paperwork, right?
Mr. Howard, Sean has been changed, but he absolutely refuses to calm down.
You heard Codsworth say my name. That isn't for the demo. We actually have recorded around 1,000 of the most popular names for him to say.
How are the two most important men in my life doing? Spin the mobile a bit. He loves that.
Sir, Mom, you should come and see this.
Confirmed reports of nuclear detonations in New York and Pennsylvania. My God.
We need to get to the vault. Now!
I've got Sean. Let's go.
Almost there. I love you. Both of you.
We love you too.
Hold on!
Now, we're not going to be spoiling or talking about the game's story tonight, but you do survive and get lowered into the vault. Events transpire, but you then emerge 200 years later as the sole survivor of Vault 111. This is an enormous dynamic world where you can create any kind of character you want, go where you want, and do whatever you want. Player freedom remains our absolute #1 goal. This is running on a next-generation version of our creation engine, features full physical-based rendering, as well as dynamic volumetric lighting.
As I live and breathe. Mr. Howard, is that really you?
Codsworth? You're still here. So, other people could still be alive too.
It's worse than I thought. You're suffering from hunger-induced paranoia. Not eating properly for 200 years will do that, I'm afraid.
No, that's not possible. I wasn't out for that long.
That means you're 2 centuries late for dinner. Perhaps I can whip you up a snack. You must be famished.
What? Food? Yeah, sure. I need a minute to think.
Then I'll be right back.
Even our dialogue is dynamic. It is not a mode you're locked into. You can play it in first person, you can play it in third person, you can walk away whenever you want, you can shoot him in the face if you want.
Hey, boy. What are you doing out here all by yourself? You want to come with me, pal? Okay, then. Let's stick together. Hey, head over there.
And yes, you can give the dog commands by simply pointing at things in the environment and activating them. It's all contextual.
Grab that. Ready to get back out there?
It is from here that you'll explore the most ambitious and detailed game world that we have ever made, culminating in the massive ruins of downtown Boston. Thank you. Now to the cool stuff. This is a very old photo from the future, of course, of the invention of the very first Pip-Boy, which will become the world's greatest smartwatch due to its power and portability. And of course, we have a new one in Fallout 4. This is where you find it when you leave the vault. Now, you do spend a lot of time in our games looking at your stats, your items, and more, so we put a lot of emphasis on making this entertaining, but also making it come alive on the screen. Your various items. We do have a layered armor system now. There are holotapes you can listen to, And some of these are even game tapes. We like all kinds of games. Yeah, we just, the Pip-Boy is an important part of Fallout, and we love it so much. We made a real one. So this comes with our collector's edition. So it is the Fallout 4 Pip-Boy edition. And yes, you can put your phone in it. And yes, we made an app for it. So it works with the game, and yes, it's a second screen experience. And usually, I find second screen experiences, they're generally just stupid gimmicks. But like, as far as stupid gimmicks goes, I assure it's the best fucking one I have ever seen. It is awesome. It is. Here, I'm going to show it to you in action. It works. It actually works perfectly. It's the same code that we use on the Pip-Boy running on the app. Works on any platform on your local Wi-Fi, Xbox One, PS4, PC. Of course, if you don't get the Pip-Boy edition, it'll obviously still work on your smartphone or tablet. It's going to be iOS and Android, and it'll come out when the game comes out. But we've also done something else for your smartphone and your tablets. A totally new game. I know. We're busy. We do stuff. Back in 2007, we were making Fallout 3, and the iPhone came out, and we just fell in love with it. And we played games on it all the time. And we kept talking about making our own game for it, a separate game from what we would usually normally do. We had a lot of ideas. We kept coming back to this one that we felt would be perfect on a touch screen, and that would be no better anywhere else. So we decided to do it, and here it is. It is called Fallout Shelter. And in it, you get to make your own vault. And you are the overseer controlling everything. You control the people in the vault. It's your job to keep them productive and happy. This is inspired by the other games we love, going back 30 years to Little Computer People. You'll see inspirations, obviously, from XCOM, SimCity, FTL, things that we really, really like. Each dweller has full stats. They all level up. There are items. You can give them new outfits, weapons, which they'll need when you send them off into the wasteland. So they'll head off into the wasteland, and they'll have adventures and get stuff. This is actually inspired by an odd little RPG called Progress Quest. If you've never look it up, it's really cute. Resources are important, having the right balance of food, water, and power. There are lots of different rooms you can build, ones that give you resources. Some of them train people. They train your dwellers' stats. The bar, of course, trains charisma. Classroom does intelligence. There are children. More on that in a bit. And you do get rewarded with lunchboxes full of random loot. Accidents can happen, fires can break out, rat roach attacks, raiders can attack. And of course, the best way to get new dwellers is the old-fashioned way. That raises their happiness when they go in the room. And of course, as overseer, you get to name all the babies. And that is Fallout Shelter. Now, this game is going to be free, but don't worry, there are no paywall timers. You don't need an internet connection. You build something, it's instantly built. Again, no internet connection, you can play it wherever you want. We do let you buy more lunch boxes if you want more random loot, but the whole goal of this game was to do something we'd really want to play on our phones, something that made us smile and had more depth than other things we were seeing. But what's been especially exciting about this game is for us to finally work with some great folks at Apple. And what's even more exciting is that this game is coming out on the App Store tonight. So, no soft launch. It's going to start rolling worldwide after the showcase this evening. I hope you check it out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. But we're not done talking about Fallout 4 yet. So back to the big one. We love building stuff in our games. And if you think about building and crafting, Fallout is kind of the perfect world to do all of that in. So like many things, we have gone completely overboard. And here's how it works in the game. We're allowing your character, while playing, to rebuild. And it works like this. You can scrap items in the world for materials and then use those materials to build the way you want. And one of the great things about having a fully dynamic game engine is all of this just works in real time. Rip it apart and build the way you want. Like the rest of the game, this is about making it your own experience. We want you to build and decorate and make yourself really a place you want to live in. A new home for yourself and your best friend, of course. As your settlement grows, people will arrive, including certain traders. They have some of the best items in the game. For these people, you can plant food, water, and even power generators. All right, so the generators will power things through switches that require power, lights and other items, and then you run wires that connect them all, and again, it just works. You can also build your own terminals that hook to this power grid, and then you can control the various things and tweak them that the power lines are connected to. This includes things like turrets, because you do want to build defenses because your settlements can and will get attacked by raiders. So it's fun to build up something yourself in the game that usually you'll find that we have built for you. And there are many large sites in the game world where we allow you to build. And you can even run Brahmin caravans between your settlements. Keep in mind, like most things we do, this is an optional part of the game that you can do if you want to. It's just one part of a huge game, but it's really great for Fallout. We just absolutely love this feature. And this crafting system carries over to other things in the world. So let's say you want to build this scope. And the game will tell you you need these components. And those components are found in all of the items in the world. So you could decide to build this scope out of these, say the microscope, a toy car, or these, duct tape, an alarm clock, and such. So we like to fill our worlds with thousands of items that you can interact with, and now all of them have purpose. And here's what it looks like in the game. We do have over 50 base weapons and over 700 modifications for those weapons. So you could take a basic, a laser pistol from Fallout, just one of the base weapons, and then modify that and turn it into something completely new. You can even modify your own power armor. We've spent a lot of time on all the weapons and the armor because we have focused heavily from day one to make the combat in this game feel great. And feel great no matter how you played it. You want to play it full-on first person, you can play it in third person, or you can use VATS, which now gives you more control to slow down time and choose your shots. There's a lot of great things that this game does, but I tell you, you could be experiencing a quiet moment in the game with your dog, and the right song comes on your Pip-Boy, and the action breaks out, and you're reminded just how fun and special a Fallout game can be.
Ready to fuck some shit up?
Got a doll, baby, I love her so. Nothing else like her anywhere you go. A man, she's anything but calm. Regular pint-size atom bomb. Atom bomb, baby, little atom bomb. I want her in my wigwam. She's just the way I want it to be. A million times hotter than TNT. Atom bomb, baby, loaded with power. A radioactive TV tower. A nuclear fission in the soul. Gloves with the electronic control. Atom bomb, baby, little atom bomb. I want her in my wigwam. She's just the way I want it to be. A million times hotter than TNT. Atom bomb, baby, boy, she can start one of those chain reactions in my heart. A big explosion, big and loud, like a tree right up on a cloud. Atom bomb, baby, little atom bomb. I want her in my wigwam. She's just the way I want her to be. A million times hotter than TNT. Atom bomb, baby, sweet as a plum, carries more warmth than uranium. When she kisses, there's no hitch. 0 hour, she turns on the switch. Atom bomb, baby, atom bomb. I want her in my wigwam. She's just the way
good to be back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This has been obviously a really special project for everybody in the team. Many of them are here in the house tonight. Can you guys wave? Give a big hand. Our fans really are the greatest in the world. I know many of you are here tonight, and I want to let you know just how important it is to us, and we know we have a responsibility to do this game right, and your love and support of Fallout have pushed us to make this our best work. And we really appreciate everybody's patience. We didn't say anything for years in this game while everybody waited. And we don't want you to wait too much longer. So we're happy to say Fallout 4 is coming out November 10th this year. Thanks again, everybody. We really hope you love the game. Thanks again.
Not that I should have to ask, but can I please get another round of applause for that man? That boy knows how to make a game and give a demo. Just a reminder, you don't need to wait to get your Fallout fix till this fall. Fallout Shelter will be available right after the showcase is over. You can find a direct link to it on our blog. We'll also be putting it out over all of our social media channels, so we hope you'll take a moment to download it and give it a try. We think you guys will like it. And now we really have come to the end of the show. You just got to look at what is coming from Bethesda in the next year, and there's still more to come from our other studios. We are always trying to push the boundaries of what players can expect from our games wherever they play them, and we think this lineup has something for everyone. From The Elder Scrolls to Fallout, from Doom to Dishonored, we hope these are the games that people will be talking about and playing for years to come. Before we wrap up, one more thing, something special to commemorate our first showcase and to thank all of you for helping us make it such a big success. Take a look. Where is he? Come on out. It's okay. You can bring your friends out. Come on, guys. There they are. So you can pick up your set of figures on the way out tonight. I got to be honest, I feel like that's a mixed reaction. If you don't want it, it's fine. You can just leave it there. Now, for those of you at home on Twitch, do not despair. We did set aside some of these for you guys. We are going to be giving them away on the post-show with Adam and Morgan, so stay tuned to find out how you can win one of these. Also on the post-show, you'll get more details about everything you heard tonight, plus exclusive conversations and interviews with Marty, Todd, Rolf, and Harvey, so stay tuned. Okay. That's it, folks. We hope you enjoyed our first ever E3 showcase. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Welcome back. There you have it, everybody. How about that? That was a really good conference.
Good opener.
Right?
Good opener. Good first time out.
Can we go home now? Because it's over. Yeah, like that's.
I mean,
that will be hard to beat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really strong conference. Just a few games and spent a lot of time with each one.
Everything looked good. Well, almost everything looked good. Where do we start?
We'll get to that.
Should we start with the obvious?
We start with Fallout.
Yeah, start with Fallout. Yeah.
Can I just say, first off, I just want to apologize for my wife. I'm not going to see you for a good chunk of time after November 10th.
After November. It's really...
I will be living 260 years in the future in Boston.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be really, really frustrating when I'm organizing and cleaning my house in a video game, and the house in real life is becoming post-apocalyptic around me.
Yeah, they'll actually merge together into one. You can build a base in Fallout now. You can build a settlement. You can build multiple settlements.
It seems like they've built in like some of these, the survival games that have emerged around Minecraft and just scrounging in the environment, and things like Rust. Things like, there are a whole genre of those now. But it seems like they've just taken what's really addictive about that, except for the social elements, and built it into Fallout, which is a huge thing all itself.
Yeah.
Like, even if it didn't have the giant RPG around it, that would be huge.
Right, that's the thing, right? We didn't even learn that much more about the game, just about some of the other things that you can do that are optional.
Sure. So before we get too deep into this, I want to apologize for everyone watching at home. We had some stream problems while we were doing this, and we've taken care of that, hopefully. So,
internet stuff.
Things happen. But, Fallout. What?
So,
there's
what
a
do you guys
game
think
out
about
now that we can get?
So there was and it's available now.
So it looks so cute, right?
Fallout Shelter,
I actually played Little Computer People, which Todd referenced when he was talking about Fallout Shelter on the Commodore 64, and definitely see the influence there. Definitely see the influence with the XCOM base building, SimCity. I mean, it just looked like a really cute game. I mean, to use the Vault Boy art in something finally.
Really charming.
Really charming.
Also, I love the Oprah effect of, look under your seats, everybody. You get a free game tonight. And the fact that they say there will be microtransactions, but it's not online only. You can play it on an airplane. That's
encouraging. And it doesn't stop you. There are no time limits or anything like that. So you can add on if you want to, but it's not necessarily something that's going to stop you from enjoying that game. I can't wait to play this game. I'm at E3, though.
Yeah.
And you are
you can still download it.
Not controlling everything.
Not only are they taping over Game of Thrones with this press conference, they are also giving us a game that we will not have time to play for a week. So.
You
bittersweet.
Control,
vicious.
The people in the
vault. I can't wait to make babies. That's right.
Making some babies.
Things bosses say next to you. All right.
Dan, he also said you're going to notice some XCOM influences in here.
Yeah, and it looks like the diorama style base of an XCOM Enemy Unknown. We actually don't know what XCOM 2 is doing along those lines. They've changed that quite a bit. We haven't seen what they're doing, but the way it's kind of a diorama effect, a very 3D look, and as you're peering into these rooms, looks very similar to that base.
Did you see how cute those deadly raiders were?
Yeah.
Little guys.
Adorable.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't mention Dungeon Keeper. It reminds me of Dungeon Keeper.
Yeah, a lot like Dungeon Keeper, adding rooms. And,
I really respect how many different games they did name check. They weren't like, this is our game and we invented it. It was like, this is a lot like XCOM and FTL and The Sims.
You don't hear that a lot from major developers because, I mean, they don't want to highlight other people's work. They want to keep the focus on them. But that was a cool shout out.
I never played Progress. Was it Progress
Quest?
Progress Quest. That a reference. I got to check that out now too.
Yeah. So, Tal, you mentioned making babies. What did you think of the new character creator?
I liked it. I thought it was really cool to sit you in the pre-war times in 2077. We talked a little bit about it.
I was
the
wrong
baby.
about
you were
everything.
wrong. Some of the other theories were right. It seems like you're going to be either the dad or the mom. It does lead me to believe, though, that you didn't find the bodies of your family in the vault once you waked up. So maybe you were in a cryotube that was, I don't know, put somewhere else, or maybe
you read it as it was the dad, not the kid grown up.
Yeah, it was definitely
the dad. Yeah, because you're actually doing all your facial changes, in the mirror. Either the father or the mother, right?
Yeah.
You can be male or female. But when you come out, it sounds like nobody else was in the vault, but he didn't necessarily find bodies there either, because he was kind of surprised. He's like, oh, if this robot's here, maybe other people are still alive. Maybe I can still find my family. So maybe that's going on.
It does seem, sorry.
They did in the interest of time move where they were like, we're going to skip ahead so there's no spoilers. There's no addressing exactly how much time is spent in the vault.
Right. It's 200 hours. It's 200
No, I mean in real life game time, not in lore time. The Fallout 3 tutorial was a substantial chunk of that game for tutorial. It's like and people didn't seem to really mind that.
Yeah, how much is going to be in pre-war, and then how much in the vault, and then how, obviously the bulk of the game afterwards.
I think we probably saw like a big chunk of what happens pre-war. I don't think they're going to have you spend much time then because there's nothing to fight. There's nothing to, and you can explore that area and like. As you're walking around, it's like, there's a product or service that I might be interested in, which I don't know. I hope they don't do that too much because that could get annoying. But it seems like that would be, it's a non-combat area, so it'll be just kind of an intro to the universe.
Also, Donkey Kong confirmed in Fallout.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Missile Command.
Should we talk about the second screen app? That,
Let's talk about the new Pip-Boy.
I can't even actually quote Todd Howard on this, but he dropped a little F-bomb aside from the release date. But yeah, a collector's edition
there
that has
a lot of F-bombs for the Fallout presentation.
Yeah, that's kind of all right. Yeah, it's F out. Yeah,
it's a mature game. They swear all up and down the game.
Yeah, I loved it. I think their press conference very much had the spirit of that humor we were talking about, right? That tongue-in-cheekness. They pulled it off really well. Sorry, but you were saying about the app.
The collector's edition. You get an iPhone case.
Real Pip-Boy.
You can shove your phone in there, and then there's a second screen app that you don't need to pay for. It's just you get it, and you get to run all your. Now, did they confirm that that's basically going to be working as your?
Yeah.
That's
so
what,
like instead of pulling it up in the game, do it there.
So you can do it here while you're still maybe in the game world without having to go into a different.
You can manage your inventory, your stats, all that stuff.
That seems really handy.
While you're leveling up. Yeah.
Even if I don't get a collector's edition, handy, maybe I will just duct tape it on my wrist, like a modification.
Yeah, you got a lot of hair on there. That's going to get messy.
I thought that was great because like they did a Pip-Boy collector's edition for Fallout 3 that had one of those, but obviously it didn't have any way to make it work.
Yeah.
And it even included a thing saying, we don't actually intend for you to wear this. This is strictly ornamental. This one is clearly intended to be worn, which is great.
Well, so now we know it is a voiced protagonist.
Yep.
Right, so it's full voice acting.
I don't hate it. I don't.
Well, so I liked Todd said player freedom remains our absolute #1 goal, and that's what's important to me. That's what I like about the
Which
games.
I wonder if they're going to allow you to turn off the voice acting if you don't like it.
I mean, you can even have your character though. You can kind of customize it because it said it supports over 1,000 most popular names. So Damon, Max, Dan. Talmadge, I don't think I'm going to make it into the game, unfortunately.
Well, people will probably mod that in.
You know what? A lot of people think my name is Kyle, so maybe or Paul. So I can just pick one of those. I'll just it'll be like real life.
Just go with that.
They talked a bit about the combat. I realize it's one of those things you can't really get a feel for unless you're actually playing it, but it does look a lot more like a proper shooter here.
Right. I mean, and they made leaps and bounds toward that in New Vegas. So I'm sure they spent a good amount of time just tuning their mechanics for just straight up shooting. The VAT system, they said you'd have more control. I didn't really see much of that. So I'm not sure what he meant there. But I hope they have made some tweaks to it just to make it feel fresh again.
Yeah, shot a mole rat in the hip.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a weak spot.
You got a dog. The dog, we saw the dog, you can make the dog do things. That's what the game has in it that I saw. I'm excited. This is probably the first game where you can make a dog smoke crack. If you can point the dog in a direction of something and be like, go drink 27 beers,
but
you have to
craft the crack from the right suppliers.
I mean, I know how this works.
You know how
theoretically.
You know how rebuilding civilization works.
Yeah. You get the dog drunk first. Yeah. We're like, go get that crowbar over there, and he's going to go do that. And
there were a lot of really interesting touches, like modding the armor was really interesting.
Yeah.
Also, like they showed you getting into the armor like it's a mech almost.
So cool.
Which they've never shown before. They've never shown anything like that. Which makes me wonder how that's going to work. I mean, like if you want to get out of if they're going to treat it like a vehicle, it seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, speaking of vehicles, we saw a bit of the kind of Brotherhood of Steel helicarrier. What would you call that thing?
Sure.
Just a drop ship. Yeah. And you're riding. You're not shotgun, but you're riding Gatling gun. You're shooting out the window. I'm wondering if that's. I mean, that seems like very much kind of a late game sort of addition, like where you're
those are called vertibirds, by the way.
Vertibirds.
Yes.
Ooh. Thank you.
But
they do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Only up and down.
I would bet that's probably not something that you own, but probably a quest that you go on.
Who knows? Maybe you can build your own, but maybe it only goes to your settlements or something like that.
It's possible.
It seems like with the ability to have multiple settlements and you can set Brahmin Pass and you can trade, that maybe you have, those will be kind of the quote-unquote fast travel
That would be a really cool, like, middle ground between fast travel and hoofing it yourself,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just calling in somebody to give you a lift, and on the way there, you're shooting some stuff.
I can't wait to live in this world, as horrible as it looks. Oh, and jetpacks.
Jetpacks. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks really good.
I'm like one thing they did confirm there is that this is not a brand new engine. This is an upgraded version of their Creation engine, which in turn was an upgraded version of the Gamebryo engine. So it is going to still have, probably a lot of the quirks that we're accustomed to seeing from Bethesda games. But that's fine.
That's great. I actually love those. As long as they're not game-breaking bugs, that made the world even more hilarious.
Yeah,
to me.
it makes it funny. I mean, like it would be nice if they ironed some of that stuff out. Hopefully, some of the upgrades they refer to are fixing some of the jank.
Well, they have like 5 months.
What
do you want?
No, I mean, we didn't see any. I mean, obviously they didn't show us any bugs in the demo.
They showed us that giant mosquito. They punched it in the face.
Yeah,
that was horrifying. Also, the Deathclaw picking you up, is that
Yeah,
that was cool.
Okay. Yeah.
We also saw a synth enemy, which is an android.
Yeah.
So that's an all new enemy for Fallout.
What do you guys think? November 10th. You like that date?
I do. I like that date.
This is going to be a big
it
November.
It is.
Yeah, you'll have it for Thanksgiving break.
Oh yeah.
Spend less time with it then.
Yeah. Sorry, family.
I'm taking 3 months off of work. November 10th.
The remainder of. I'll make that my honeymoon. Just Fallout 4.
I'm sure that'll go.
Sure, that'll be fine. Sure, it's fine. We're going to take a quick break. There's plenty more to talk about.
Yeah, there's tons to dissect in that.
Doom, Elder Scrolls. All real quick after this break.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Max Scova. With me, Damon Hatfield, Tal Blevins, and Dan Stapleton. We are halfway through our E3 post-Bethesda, post-live stream, live show thing.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yes.
Post-apocalyptic post-show.
So we talked about the radioactive future of the 1927 Z750s, whatever, Fallout 4. Let's talk about Doom. Doom, technically Doom 4, but this is Doom, the reboot. What do we make of this?
Thought it looked really cool, and I'm not even a big Doom fan, but I want to play that game.
Yeah, I thought it looked great. Doom meets Mortal Kombat all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome.
This is definitely, like, I was saying that I think that they really need to kind of revisit the roots and have, like, the kind of the angry teenage side of the original Doom, where it's just violent and it's kind of vaguely satanic and it's heavy metal and you got chainsaws and guns and all that. And they totally did that. You've got demons' jaws getting ripped off.
No, I think they nailed it. I mean, obviously, we've seen more. You've always had kind of a shotgun hit or a melee attack, but it just seems very, I think visceral, or viscera, might be, the best word to describe it. It looks, you really get in there, and there's a variety of different melee attacks. You saw the creatures kind of flash blue when you got close to them, and that kind of signifies that I guess you can do a melee attack. But it just seemed like what Doom should be. I mean, it's fast, it's frantic, it's very bloody and gory, and it's scary.
I thought they did a really good job of marrying kind of the old school fast-paced action and just run and gun shooter with new school mobility. We see double jumping, we see vaulting, just moving around the map really quickly. All those melee kills are encouraging you to get up close. As soon as you see a monster flash blue, it seems like you can just rip it apart.
Yeah. It really made me think of Doom meets Quake Arena.
Yeah. I think I was tracking this on my Twitter feed. I think a lot of people were sort of underwhelmed by it, and I think there's this kind of weird thing where if we've been waiting 11 years for a new iteration on a game, we expect it to be totally groundbreaking, but this looks much more like a kind of confident biting off as much as you can chew. This looks, it's weird to say it and vaguely blasphemous, but it looks a little bit like Bulletstorm in terms of how you've got these kind of additional melee things going on. Remember that old deep cut there?
I actually enjoyed Bulletstorm.
Yeah. I mean, like getting to kicking a cacodemon in the face or whatever, an imp, and the big thing they also have here is they have, they have multiplayer, which is obviously a big thing, but there's also, it's Doom Snap Map.
Yep.
Which is, more customization here.
It's Doom Maker.
Yes, Doom Maker. I think that people are going to really have a lot of fun with that.
And Doom has a long history of having custom maps and seeing them, bring that forward in a form where, and it's not to the extent where you place every single piece, obviously, but it's you're taking it based on what they showed there. You're taking pre-built chunks and arranging them in a way you want, which is a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's a snap.
I'll say it again. Jetpacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you can turn into the Revenant there. You saw in
turn
the
into the demon.
multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually
That's what
picked up
really stuck out
the pentagram and you turned into the Revenant and you had your jetpack and everything. You're flying around.
There's the part of me that as an adult who tries to be sort of cultured and worldly, I'm like, maybe this chainsaw violence is too much. But then he picks up literal satanic energy and starts throwing fireballs, and I'm like, this is what I wanted when I was in 5th grade. Give it to me now.
I was noticing a lot of variation in what parts of the body were being chopped off by the chainsaw.
What a weird thing to say for your job.
I know.
We did.
I got paid to say that.
We did see some repeated animations there.
Okay.
So it's obviously not dynamic.
It's not like a loaf of bread that you can slice anyway.
Right. But I will say that I don't think I've seen as joyous a celebration of gore in quite some time.
Absolutely.
And it's nice because it's cartoony. It's not over the top.
That was like an aerial assault right there, right?
Right.
I'd say too. I mean, Pete led us right into this perfectly. He told us there was going to be a lot of blood and gore, and there was.
Yep. And these guys are loot pinatas too. Like when you kill them, all these things just kind of pop out. It reminds me of Diablo, the way and Borderlands as well. The way the loot pops out and it makes it feel like, oh, I'm going to go pick that up.
It appeals to that part of your brain that likes picking things up. Also, I'm noticing a lot of verticality here, which is I think is a nice kind of compromise between having totally labyrinthine kind of old school Doom levels where you're going around in circles a bunch if you don't know exactly where you're going, but also kind of keeps it interesting, and that adds to the speed because you're not just if you're playing this on twin sticks, you can't move quite as fast as the original Doom. We saw a little bit of kind of classic Doom approach in one of the snap map levels, but you can't go exactly that speed with twin sticks. It'd be a little bit too hectic.
It does feel like it's they're kind of bravely returning to the arena shooter, and that's something that we just haven't seen much of in the past decade. Like since Unreal Tournament, I guess Unreal Tournament 3 bombed, and that was kind of the end of it for a long time. But they're confidently returning to it, which is interesting.
Yeah, I'll say like Damon, I wasn't a huge Doom fan. It's not something that really necessarily caught me that much. But seeing this, I'm really looking forward to diving into this world because again, it looked beautiful. It looked like just such fluid movement. And it looks super gory.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. I'm down for playing that
it's really
because
fun.
that's what this world's all about. That's what makes the atmosphere of that.
I am
You're
too.
going to hell.
Yeah, I am too. But I think maybe the reason some people were underwhelmed by it is that in a lot of ways it is kind of a very safe game that doesn't look like it innovates in big ways. It innovates in small ways in bringing a bunch of modern features to an old school shooter and modern polish.
Yeah.
It looks like it'll be a great experience, but it's not going to be a game changer.
Yeah, it seems like it's a safe game in the same way that Mortal Kombat 9 was.
Exactly.
Which is okay.
I was even though I wasn't a big Doom player, I was a huge Quake Arena and Unreal Tournament player, and this really looks like a return to those too, which is great to see.
Yeah. And I love the little details. Like they when you pick up a weapon from a corpse, like they even had like rigor mortis as the guy was had to kind of pull it loose of that, and just little touches like that are what kind of caught my eye.
Little touches like when the demon ripped off our own arms and then beat us with it.
That was subtle.
That's one way to end a demo. Just beat you over the head with it.
I also liked that detail in the first part of the demo, the echo device that you use to see sort of a memory of what happened there.
Yeah, it was like
he sees the monster carry him.
It reminded me of Batman's Detective Vision in Arkham Origins, where you can replay things.
Yeah.
That same idea. It's like what happened here. And
in Doom 3, you had the audio logs, and you kind of got that. So this is like full-on visual. You can follow the demon going off.
Yeah, and that leads them to the dead soldier, where we can rip off his arm and then use it to gain access to the next area.
Yeah.
Thought that was really nice.
Very
it's nice to have a little bit more than just shooting demons in a game.
And they do seem to have mostly kept the Doom 3 trait of having all the menus and everything be in-game, which was one of Doom 3's cleverest ideas.
I do like that, yeah. So what else do we have?
Anything else to cover off on the multiplayer?
It looks very straightforward and back to basics with
They showed us a lot of stuff. You can shoot a guy in hell. I mean, it's a thing. Jetpacks, yes. I think arena shooter stuff is.
And they said that's coming out in spring of 2016.
Yeah.
So
they did not an exact date yet, but spring 2016.
I mean, I'll still be playing Fallout 4 then, but I guess I can take a break.
Probably. I was so happy to see Dishonored 2.
Yes.
That looks really cool. Even though if it was just like a trailer, they didn't show any gameplay, but it seems really cool.
So what do we know about this?
It was hard to tell how much of that would be fairly representative of gameplay and how much wasn't. I mean, it may have been an engine, it may not have been. It's hard to say.
Yeah. So you can play as Emily, who you saved.
Yep.
Emily Caldwin, I think.
Yeah.
I thought.
So that's the girl that was abducted in the first Dishonored that you go.
That's true?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
So they call her a new character, but
It's a new playable character.
Right.
I think probably a new playable character.
What's interesting is, she's got unique powers. She's got her own gadgets, own weapons, kind of own play style, which I think should make things really interesting. It's not just a skin swap.
It's another layer of replayability, which is great because, I mean, Dishonored has, the original Dishonored has that in several ways. Like, it's got multiple endings, it's got different upgrade paths you can take. But if you can have an entirely different character and maybe her story is different, playing as Emily versus playing as Corvo, you could potentially have a reason to play through this game 4 or 5 times.
Sure. Yeah, and we've got a new city here. It's called Karnaca, I think. It's a coastal city. I guess did you guys get any idea what the plot was about? Something about the Empire and
they said an otherworldly usurper seizes the throne.
Huh?
Didn't that happen last time?
Okay, sounds about right. One thing I noticed from the very beginning of the demo, we've got this kind of like a rotting corpse, and then there's this nest of with bugs coming out of it, and I can almost guarantee you that's going to be like a big part of that.
Well, just like the rats in the Dishonored,
Yeah, so plague bees.
Yeah.
Ew.
What do you think about when she entered the mansion and the rooms were started shifting?
I mean, that's pretty elaborate.
Is this a dream sequence? I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah, no, it seemed like it was actually the rooms were actually moving very Hogwarts kind of setting there.
That might be the otherworldly enemy type of thing. And I like the turning into smoke. That was awesome.
Yeah, and although she seemed to be using almost a Spider-Man-ish web pole kind of thing to propel herself around instead of blink.
Yeah.
So maybe that's different.
And you could stop time in Dishonored, or slow down time. But I don't remember being able to shoot the bomb. That was a new thing, right?
I don't remember there being a grenade that you could shoot, but I mean, you could
It's been a while since I played Dishonored.
You could launch a bunch of crossbow bolts and then unfreeze time, and they'd all hit at once.
Right.
So there are a lot of time manipulation tricks you could do, but that looked like a new one.
Yeah. Do we have a release date for this yet, or is it kind of?
I don't think they said. I think they just wanted us to know that they're working on it.
Okay. And in the meantime.
They did tell us when the Dishonored Remastered version is coming.
Dishonored Remastered will be out later this year, fall.
Yeah, this fall.
There you go. If there wasn't enough going on.
And that's something I will totally play again, I think, on my new consoles.
Yeah? I absolutely will play Dishonored again. It was great.
I never finished it the first time around. Came out the same day as XCOM. What am I going to do? But I did put a bunch of time into it and did like it a lot, so I'm looking forward to going back to it.
Yeah. Now what about Elder Scrolls Legends?
That seems like your bag, Damon.
I mean, I love Hearthstone. Yeah, you think this is meant to be a Hearthstone contender?
Dude, I mean, that's one of those things where I don't think you can't really sell it in a trailer, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of in the midst of all this very, very exciting, polished kind of sizzle, showing off kind of motion graphics of card illustrations was a little bit of a kind of a slow point.
That's why you put it in the middle.
To see millions of people online.
And it's not the Elder Scrolls card game here. This is Elder Scrolls Online. We're talking about new content that is coming this year.
Some of the new places they showed, the Orklands, over in Daggerfall.
Yeah, they're one of the things that you do in the Elder Scrolls Online is revisit a bunch of places that we've already seen in previous Elder Scrolls games. This one is from Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall, and it's the homeland of the orcs.
So there you go. If you're hoping for a new Elder Scrolls game, you got something to check out. Then, of course, there is this is interesting. The Bethesda Net. Do you want to talk about that at all? It's kind of their answer to BattleNet or Origin.
On some level, as a PC guy, it's slightly concerning to me that they're talking about building that into the heart of all of their games. Just because I've got to have another login, I've got to do all that. Who knows? Maybe their features will make it worth it. BattleNet is pretty nice, so I'll reserve judgment. But I always kind of sigh a little bit when it's like, oh, I've got to have another account.
Sure. And then BattleCry.
Oh yeah, BattleCry.
BattleCry.
Yeah, like I said, almost everything looked good.
We said coming into it that they really had to show us why we should care about BattleCry. I don't think they did that this time around.
No.
They showed us the classes, the 4 classes, right? There's Brawler, Enforcer, Infiltrator, and Gadgeteer. And they describe it as team-based action combat.
But I mean, like that's just not enough. I mean, I'm sure they'll show us more on the show floor.
Yeah.
But like they don't have like a short elevator pitch for like, hey, here's what makes this game cool. Like what they did was just said something that could describe, literally dozens of other games that are out there. Like, hey, that's Team Fortress 2. Great. I already have that.
To come out of Doom multiplayer and go into Battlecry, I thought it just kind of sucked the air out of the room.
It had sort of an odd place in the stream.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting how they presented it, because I think the initial trailer we saw had that very much that kind of that steampunk kind of very fancy kind of Victorian Dishonored vibe to it, and then what we're seeing today is way more like Grindhouse kind of Wolfenstein New Order kind of look to it.
Lots of blood.
Yeah, but the blood is like, it's like ribbony.
Yeah,
it's like very
flat,
stylized.
Comic,
Like
style.
I don't dislike the art style. Like I think that's the thing that's most interesting about it so far is that art style. Yeah. Although the animations looked a little funny to me.
Yeah,
Just very fast and kind of jerky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the a melee competitive shooter, so to speak, is that's kind of a hard thing to pull off. I'm very curious to see how it works, especially with a free-to-play model on top of it.
It obviously was, in the middle of the big bookends that they had, and they're really focusing, obviously, on Doom and Fallout. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it just kind of got lost in the conference, and it didn't do anything to really spark my interest.
Yeah. So if we have Fallout this fall, Doom next spring, maybe Dishonored 2 is their big fall 2016.
Bethesda's got a great-looking lineup, though.
Yeah. That's why I think it was a really smart idea for them to have this conference. Like, that was great.
Yeah, this is super strong.
You guys want to talk about Fallout some more?
Yeah. We also want to hear...
Can we download the app and just play that now?
Yeah, let's just do it. Play that app.
Down Fallout Shelter?
If any of our viewers have any questions for us, just tweet them at IGN with hashtag IGN Live. Definitely want to know what you think about the conference. But yeah, Fallout 4.
Yeah, just the weapon modding alone. Like, they said that they have 50 base weapons and then 700 mods.
Yeah,
it wasn't clear.
That's insane.
Yeah, it wasn't clear if they have 700 mods overall or 700 variations. But in any case, it looks like there's going to be a lot of different guns you can have, and just like it feels like if I play through, my gun is going to look different from the gun that you have and you have and you have. Like, there's enough variation there. And if you go on a wiki or the IGN wiki, I'm sure you'll find like the recipes for like the best statistically best guns that you can build. But like
you'll have big tables of all the modifications and
right. And yeah, we'll definitely have that. But like I personally, like when I play a Fallout game, I stay as far away from guides or anything as I can unless I absolutely get stuck because I want to discover all that.
Yeah, that's
also confirmed. You can still shoot people in the face with a teddy bear.
Yes. I love that they had it in there. This was like a really, really wonderful demo because it just showed off like kind of any way you could go about playing the game. If you play it as a shooter, there you go. If you play it for the story, there you go. If you play it for customization, there you go. And really...
You can play it as a tower defense game
exactly.
if you want to.
You could play it as Animal Crossing. Like, I mean, also, there's the part of me that kind of wants to be... It's not completionist, but it's sort of just being fussy and wanting to have like the nice things in the game. And this is one of those things where it completely just overwhelms it to the point where I'll play with it and I'll make a gun that I like, and there's so many combinations that I won't feel like I'm missing out. Like I just kind of accept that you'll never have them all.
Really? I'm the exact opposite. That's why I'm going to be lost in this game, because whenever they say, and this is optional, no, I want to see every single bit of this game world.
Yeah.
I want to build settlements. I want to see, well, you're not going to be able to see every gun, but as many guns as I possibly can. I'm like a hoarder in these kinds of games, so I'm going to collect everything that I can. Which is really cool in your base, too. You can actually display the things that you collect. That was really awesome. I
liked that in previous Fallout games, you could like play stuff in your apartment, but it didn't really have any effect on gameplay, and now they've actually made it matter.
They were just kind of sets, too, right? Like, you could pick a set. Now it looks like you can really outfit it however you want to. Furniture exactly where you want it. You can display your collectibles. Yeah. You can build your house however you want it.
The fact that it will attract other settlers to join you. And
this is actually really similar to the was it the Hearthfire or DLC for Skyrim?
Yeah.
Which you had adopting kids and having collectible racks and stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff they prototyped in that DLC.
Yeah. Now, what I'm really curious about is the fact that this is so kind of like, there's so much about personalization and making it your own, and both in terms of your character and in terms of the world your character lives in. And I mean, they showed up that giant vault boy made out of light up bricks that you were controlling, which is very Minecraft. How are they going to have you sharing that? How are you going to be showing that off to people?
That's what Bethesda Net's going to do.
Yeah.
Like what Steam Workshop has done on PC for Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and Skyrim. I think we'll see a lot of that happen on Bethesda.net for the console versions. Hopefully they don't abandon Steam Workshop for the PC version, because that system already works really well, and I would kind of hate to see them kind of break away from that, just because I personally am invested in that ecosystem. I like it.
But yeah, I'm sure you'll be able to share your best creations.
But yeah, they have the capability already in the PC versions of these games to share creations like that.
Yeah, I think that it's very likely we're going to see something similar to what Destiny has in its app, where you can show off your character and show off all the stats there with the Pip-Boy app, and be like, here's my guy with his neon pink power armor. By the way, look at his mustache.
Speaking of the Pip-Boy too, I loved all the little animations they added in the Pip-Boy
so
too.
Nice.
It's really neat.
Yeah, I think that for a model of what we should expect for like plopping somebody else's creations in our world, The Sims 4 actually does that really well. They have a system where you can build a house, upload it. Other people can just download that house and plop it on a plot in their neighborhood. And given that they've already talked about how they are influenced by some of the Sims games, I think that they might look at that system as a model to copy.
Yeah, it also does lead me to believe though that they didn't say it here, didn't talk about multiplayer. And this game's coming out in November, so
no way there's multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean, again, we already talked about it. I didn't necessarily want it, but again, shareability is I think the key there.
Yeah. One thing we sort of touched on but didn't really talk about: Elder Scrolls Legends. What?
It's a card game.
Yep.
We know it's coming, but without any details about how it plays. We know it's going to be free to play, like Hearthstone is.
Yeah. Without any idea of what the rules of this card game are, then what's
I would say I'm not really invested in the world of Elder Scrolls, but then again, I wasn't invested in the world of Warcraft either before I started playing Hearthstone. So
and now you're an expert.
Well, I just really like Hearthstone. Okay.
Well, yeah, there you go. Makes you wonder. Remember when they filed that trademark strike against Mojang for having the Scrolls game? That was we're like, but it's a trading card game. Why would that ever happen? Well. There you go.
That's a very good point. Yep. Probably had this cooking for a while.
Do we have any questions from the fine folks watching at home?
Yeah, some Twitter questions are starting to roll in. Getting back to Fallout 4, Bourne asks, do you think Fallout 4 will have a hardcore mode, making it harder to build things because of a time limit?
I could see either that or resource constraints, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe it's not nearly as plentiful in some worlds. So yeah, I could see that being a possibility for sure.
I mean, they had a hardcore mode in Fallout New Vegas that just makes everything a lot more. Resources are much more scarce.
Yeah, much more precious.
Makes the bees angrier and the food taste worse.
Right.
What if the bees are the food?
I don't want to eat bees. I'll make my dog eat bees.
And then shoot
All right, I thought Bethesda's conference was really good.
Yeah.
That was a really good start to E3 2015.
Offering.
Good
Next
freshman offering.
First thing tomorrow morning is Microsoft at 9:30 a.m.
Yep.
And you'll be watching that live here at IGN, hopefully. But we're live all day long tomorrow. So after Microsoft in the morning, we're going to have a Halo 5 live demo. We're going to have a live demo of Rise of the Tomb Raider. Then it's the Electronic Arts conference, followed by Ubisoft.
And it starts at, what does that say?
Electronic Arts is 1 p.m. Pacific.
Okay.
Ubisoft immediately after that. Then XCOM 2 first gameplay here at IGN, 4 to 30 p.m. Pacific. Then the Sony press conference ends things out with a 6 p.m. Pacific.
And of course, our pre-show starts at 5:30. So.
Well, yeah. So we're going to be live all day tomorrow with pre- and post-show coverage for all these conferences. So
E3's
really
here.
Yeah.
And
and I'm happy.
Yes.
Really happy.
It's off to a good start. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we're going to be here pretty much all week.
Thank you to Talon Dan as well.
Take it easy.
Thank you guys.
IGN Live at E3 is presented by Edge Shave Gel. Get your edge.